Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share my experience with a property line dispute. I'm going to try to make this story brief. The county came out and they put property markers on the fronts of the property. They didn't do them in the back. And so I was informed that my neighbor had gone out there and removed the one between my renter's property and her property. And I have a building out in the backyard that has a lean-to that is in disrepair. Her wisteria vines and her crepe myrtles have completely ruined the roof. And I'll show you that here in a moment. So that weekend, my best friend Tony came over and we were going to draw a line from the front of the property, which faces south, to the back of the property, which is north, and meet the strings in the middle and determine where the property line was, so that when I work on the lean-to make repairs, I won't be disturbing any of her plants. So while I was over there trying to get some of the debris off of the building, I hear, "Ma'am, ma'am." And I turned around and I said, "Hey," said her name. I said, "You know it's me, what do you want?" And she starts blinking her eyes. "You're on my property." And I said, "Well, that's yet to be determined." "Well, I'm going to call the police." And I said, "Go ahead." So as she hossed off, she called me the C word and the B word. And, I said, "Girl, you need a Midol." So she calls the police, and as soon as they show up, Karen came out. She had an air cast on her leg at the time. And she's peg-legging around the yard and saying, "Look, officer, she's on my property. I've got her on film," holding up her camera. "I've got her on my camera. She's on my property," and she's raising all kind of hell is what she's doing. And so I explained to the officer, I said, "Look, officer," I said, "I have to fix this building. I'm getting a new tractor and I need a place to park it. And all of this shrubbery, all these vines and trees, have destroyed the roof and I need to repair it." And he just put his hands in his vest. He said, "Okay, finish what you're doing." And oh man, she completely lost it. She was pacing back and forth. "I'm going to call your daddy." And I'm like, "Call my daddy? What are we, 12? I'm going to sue you," and yada yada. So she disappeared while the police, were letting us finish tying the string together. So when we tied the string together, I found that I gained like 4 or 5 feet from where she said the property line was. And that was just in that location. It was a little bit further out as we got towards the back of the property. So police left and we left the line there, and then the next morning my renter comes up and he says, "What's with that?" And he pointed, and it was a big pallet that had the word "stupid" spray painted on the front of it with an arrow pointing straight up to one of those no trespassing signs. I'll show you that in the video as well. And he said she was up all night long configuring this. And you have to think about this. If somebody's going through all that effort with a cast on their leg, that's rage. That is straight out fury. And so as I went to the backyard, she had spray painted "stupid" off with an arrow pointing towards me. Got a surveyor out here, and I'll show you some of the footage from that. And he came out and marked all the properties. Well, I ended up gaining 20 feet onto her property. So now I know why she was so enraged, because she knew that I didn't really know where the property line was, and she was claiming all that land for all these years. That's when I decided that I was going to make property markers that would be so obvious that there would never ever be any confusion as to where the property lines are. So that's where this project comes in today. So I'm going to stop all this talking and we're going to get into this video. It reads "stupid" off with an arrow pointing in this direction. She redrew the line that was pulled initially when I pulled it, and then she put down her own rope and then carved "stupid" off. And so that's that. Alright, I'm entering the lean-to. As you can see, it has significant damage. We pulled most of the vines off. I do have photos of what it looked like before, but I have to repair it because I'm getting a tractor and I need somewhere to put it. These are the paper plates that she feeds the raccoons and the cats with. She just comes over onto my property and just puts paper plates out. So these are older paper plates, but it's still evidence that she comes onto the property. She stopped once I put the cattle panel fence up. The cattle panel fence that I put up, as you can probably see through here, is not because of her. It's because I have a schnauzer that likes to chase cats, and she's got 30-something beehives over in that location. So to keep the dog from running into her backyard, I put the fence up. But as you can see, all these wisteria vines from her property have caused all this damage.
These are leaning. It's another arm, I think. Now that one's leaning.
Yeah.
That one's leaning. There's one way over here that's about the corner. That's what they're calling the corner over here. This one. But
okay.
It's I think it's leaning also. That's bad. Well, they really drove these in the ground. Maybe I'll straighten that. That's the actual corner right there.
Yep.
Straight. Let's see what that looks like. What does that word say? S-T.
Stupid.
I really don't want to mess with this one.
Yeah. Because of that. It reads stupid with an arrow pointing up. No trespassing. Hilarious. Okay, we're wrapping this little adventure up. What the surveyor is doing is he is removing the peg that was in the wrong place. My only deduction is that my grandfather had tilled over here so many times he realized the peg was missing and he just put it where he assumed he thought it was supposed to be, but it was 20 feet off. It's over there. Hang on a second. What we got there? So let's walk over here. So that's my house. And the property line goes right through here. So I lost 20 feet on this side of my house. So I got to move all this podocarpus, but I gained 20 feet on this side. So let's walk back here along the easement, I think it's what it's called. I'll try not to bounce you around too much. and that's my neighbor's property with all the beehives. So we thought that the rebar was right here. That rebar right there was the property mark. And this is not. This has got to be removed. And this is the proper marking. Goes straight through here. I'm trying not to fall. Sorry if I'm jerking you around a little bit. It goes right over the hump of this tree right here. Sorry about the wind. And it goes right here, goes all the way through all this mess right here on the other side of this crap. All this over here is mine to the street. So I've been thinking all this time that my fence was here. And actually, I mean, my property line was about here. It's not. It's right there. Trying to keep that moss from. So right through there. Move, moss. I am moving. So right through here. And I keep smelling feces, like human feces, so I think they have a septic tank problem. I don't have a septic tank on this part of the property. So maybe that's what she was hiding. I don't know. But it was something to have the police called on you. And then people write stupid in red spray paint. Or orange, whatever color that is. But I am going to bring 6 inches out, and I'm going to run that hog panel fence from here to here. And then from this tree, it's a beautiful tree. I'm not going to cut down trees. And it'll be on just touching that tree right there. But I'm going to come out 6 inches, so it'll be about right here. Right in there somewhere. And run that hog panel down all the way from one peg to the other. So this mystery and saga is over. I'm telling you what, people, it is the best thing to do is to get a surveyor and get it settled once and for all. These people can hook up to satellites and they can tell where their property line, where your property line is. There's no room for debate or discussion. Just do it and get a fence. Just get a fence. Because good fences really do make good neighbors. Today I'm going to be building a concrete post to mark the property line. I will be using a 4 by 4 by 72 inch post vinyl slip. This is what they put over 4 by 4s when they're building a fence to make a vinyl fence. And there you go. So I'm going to rip it in half vertically, and that way I have 2 sides. Once I have it open, I'm going to line it with vegetable oil. I couldn't find any used motor oil, so I'm just going to use vegetable oil. And then I'm going to use these 6-inch worm gear clamps. So basically I'm just using this as a form for my concrete post. I'm going to be sinking it in 2 feet down, and so that gives me 4 feet out of the ground. It'll be high visibility, and so that, you know, in case you're on the tractor or the lawnmower, you'll be able to see it. There is no misunderstanding as to where the property line is. try to do is put all of these clamps in the same direction. find my hacksaw to trim this to size, so I'll just trim it off later when I borrow my friend. It just needs about, I don't know, 6 inches more. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to open up a whole new bag just to give it that little bit on top. I could put a piece of block and then get one of those solar lights. I think that would be just fine. It doesn't have to be a certain height. So I'm just going to leave it overnight, and then I can use an angle grinder to grind down any seams or anything else. So I'm going to leave it alone and let it do its thing, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, I got all the duct tape off. I thought I hit record. Oh, how pretty. Here, go ahead and grab that for me, please. Yay. Oh, wow. It looks better than I thought. And I guess I'll just take a brick, like you said. Let's see if it'll try to come out. Oop, wrong side. Oh, yeah. Look how pretty that turned out. It's got holes in it, which is fine. I think it's pretty. You can always take really wet concrete and fill in the holes if that's what you want. originally wanted to do north, south, east, and west on here. Now there was a little problem right here, and that's where the form kind of sunk in. But I can always turn this thing around and let it face north, which is probably what I'm going to do, so I don't see it. But I'm really super excited about this. There we go. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna leave about 2 or 3 inches in case I want to put something out up here on it. I don't know. It looks absolutely amazing. I couldn't have done better if I tried.